Welcome back to the PCC Podcast. And today we're going to talk about being bored. And before you tune out, because it sounds like a boring episode, trust me, you're not going to want to miss this one if you are somebody who is constantly go, 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 feels kind of constantly stressed out, maybe like you're burning the candle at both ends, and just feel like you want to lose weight, make more progress with your fat loss, but it's just one more thing on your plate that's really, really difficult to achieve. This is for you. So let's make this an efficient, short episode that's going to give you a lot of value. Before we get into the episode, just a reminder that we do have a $100 giveaway going on. So how do you win $100? Is by leaving a rating and review on Apple Podcasts for this podcast, the PCC Podcast. Do that by the end of the month, October 31st, and we will make sure to reward one of you with a random draw with a $100 gift card of your choosing. All right, let's get into the episode. This episode is going to be called Your Boring Unlock to Faster Progress. Ooh, what does that mean? So, what does boring unlock mean? So, here's a question for you. When was the last time you sat in silence without your phone, without music, without TV, without background noise, and without trying to check something off of a list? Because if you're a high achiever like me, you probably just laughed and thought literally never, because let's be honest, stillness feels like the opposite of productivity. And I'm right there with you with the fact that we've been conditioned to believe that constantly doing something and being busy is a good thing. We've been conditioned to believe that more effort, more hours, more hustle means you're going to make faster progress in every area of your life. And if you're not doing, achieving, striving, you're falling behind, right? That saying, you're either growing or you're dying. But the truth is, your nervous system was not built for nonstop stimulation. And if you're constantly scrolling, multitasking, or rushing from one thing to the next, you're actually slowing down your results. So let's remember, stillness is not laziness. Stillness is the reset button on your body and your brain that it needs to adapt, recover, and finally let go of control. And that's how all of your hard work will pay off. So in today's episode, we're going to walk through why stillness is actually the secret unlock for faster progress, especially if you are a perfectionist or a high achiever. And we will talk about why it feels so uncomfortable, why boredom is actually a skill you can develop, and simple ways you can start practicing stillness without it feeling overwhelming. Because if you have been stuck in the loop of doing more and more and more and feeling like no matter how much you do, it's never enough, the answer is probably not more hustle. It's probably going to be the thing that changes everything for you by learning to be still. So, nervous system basics. Let's kind of break down some science here so you understand the playing field. Your nervous system is your fight or flight system, and it is stimulated through the brain. It's literally connected to the brain. So your nervous system is your brain connected to all of the nerves of your body through the spinal cord. And your brain will take input through all of your senses, and that input keeps your body on alert. Specifically, what gets triggered when you have stressors that are perceived, whether they are physical stressors of getting chased down by a bear, or a mental stressor of looking at your calendar and being like, oh my goodness, I have quite the week. I don't have much room to breathe this week. And that's been this week for me. And this is a very, very key lesson for me this week even. Keeps what's called the amygdala in your brain buzzing. The amygdala is the fear and emotion center of the brain. It lights up when we are experiencing emotions and stress. And the amygdala can then send signals down the spinal column, the nervous system, to create a fight or flight response. If you're listening to this episode, if you've been a part of our community, our network here at PCC for some time, you will be familiar with fight or flight, right? The opposite of this is parasympathetic activation. So sympathetic activation is fight or flight. Parasympathetic activation is what we call rest and digest mode. So recovery, digestion, hormone balance, your body feeling relaxed. When you are a high achiever, you can be nailing your workouts, your macros, but if your nervous system literally never shifts from sympathetic to parasympathetic activation, your body's not going to get all of the adaptations that it could or should from what you're doing, because there is so much that needs to happen in the parasympathetic state. Recovering from your workouts, actually taking a number 2, being able to sleep with good quality, right? And so this is kind of our classic example of the woman who crushes every single workout, but feels stuck because her body is in chronic overdrive. And so what we want to do here is learn to be with ourselves. Learn to be bored. Learning to be with yourself is difficult because we are constantly stimulated from our environment. We're constantly stimulated from social media, from notifications, from work needing us, kids needing us. And maybe we're just the type of person that doesn't like to go without background noise. We want to keep the radio on in the car, keep music playing, keep something on the TV, just so it's not silent. And maybe you're even the type of person that, and once I say this, you're going to really notice this, but do you struggle with silence in a conversation? If you're talking to someone and both people pause for a good amount of time, do you feel the urge to fill the silence and speak because silence is uncomfortable? And silence feels unbearable for perfectionists and high achievers because we tie our worth to doing, achieving, and filling that space. And so when we talk about stillness being a good thing, restlessness and discomfort with silence and stillness is not a bad thing. This is the reframe. Silence and stillness will create discomfort and restlessness, and you will feel the temptation to jump back into doing. That is the work. That is the thing to become comfortable with. That is the thing to grow into. Okay, just like our muscles only grow when we give them rest days to recover, our minds only have the ability to be creative, to be abundant, to be fruitful when we are in stillness. So let's reflect. When was the last time you went on a walk without your phone or music? When was the last time you sat in silence without a single thing to do? And if you really want to challenge yourself, there's like this funny, like kind of psychological test where they took people and they just sat them in front of a blank wall for an hour and said, just sit here, don't do anything. And some people had crazy manic responses to that because they were so triggered by being still. And others could handle it, but it was still incredibly uncomfortable. And I think it just goes to show the state of humans in this day and age, like we are chronically overstimulated. And we have gotten to the point where it's more normal to be overstimulated and burnt out than it is to be calm and still. So I want you guys to reframe boredom as training your nervous system. So everyday examples. Are you waiting in line? Let's not scroll and look down at our phone. Let's just stand and wait in line. Go for a phone-free walk. Eat a meal without scrolling on your phone right in front of you. This actually matters for fat loss. Like you might think like, okay, this is a great life lesson. Like I needed this, but like fat loss, don't see the connection. Boredom tolerance reduces a lot of impulsive behaviors, a lot of chasing of stimulation, a lot of all or nothing, a lot of self-sabotage when it comes to our behavior change. Because if we are not able to tolerate some boredom, then when we have the impulse to give into a craving, to chase all or nothing, to chase the stimulation of I need to be doing something when it's not the right thing for our protocol, we're going to be able to tolerate that, to hold ourselves in the stillness and not fall off the track. And so if you can learn to tolerate boredom, you can learn to tolerate the pause between feeling urgency and taking action. If you've ever felt like feeling hunger is a problem to solve, it's like an urgent thing. I feel hungry. Oh my God, I need to eat. I can't be hungry. Hunger's bad. Hunger means I'm losing muscle. Hunger means I'm, starving myself. Like whatever the association is, we have a lot of deeply packed associations with hunger being a bad thing oftentimes. But hunger is not a problem to be solved. It's a dichotomy to be managed. It's something to pause and say, is now the time to eat? Is this level of hunger tolerable? Or is this something that I should be actually moving towards a meal with? The pause between urge and action. If we can tolerate that and make logical, rational decisions through that, then we can be successful in any goal. So here are some simple strategies for nervous system regulation and tolerating stillness. Number 1, micro strategies, right? Phone-free walk, silent meal, 5 minutes of deep breathing at night with nothing else, journaling without a prompt, just noticing whatever thoughts come through. And just remember, it's not about 60-minute meditations. It's not about staring at the wall for an hour. You don't have to do that. It's about building capacity in small reps, just like with everything else. This is going to be uncomfortable. You have to start where you're at. Whatever's uncomfortable for you, let yourself tolerate that first. Next, remember that this will help you with how you respond versus reacting, right? So if a situation happens at work, do we sit there and we think, how do I want to respond to this situation? Or do we frantically message all of our coworkers with reactions to the situation, right? Instead of spiraling with work stress, you breathe and you reset and then you decide. With food noise, instead of just numbing it by eating food, you pause and ask, what do I really need right now? Where is this coming from, right? And so remember that stillness means you have discernment. You are in the driver's seat. You are in control. And it will help you separate urgency instead of important things, right? So just remember that if you are bored, it's not that you're not progressing. It might actually be the foundation of you building something even greater. So if you feel like you have been stuck in the loop of doing more and feeling like it's never enough, it might be the time in your life to try the opposite. And the unlock that you're probably going to need is not more hustle, it's stillness. So remember, stillness regulates the nervous system. It will allow you to have faster recovery from your workouts, better progress from discernment in your mind. Discomfort and stillness is the work. It is growth, not a failure for feeling with the stillness. And remember that boredom is a muscle. The more you train it, the calmer and more resilient you become. So let's try one stillness practice this week. Share this podcast to your story if you found this helpful. Share this with someone who needs it. Share this with someone who's constantly overstimulated. And let me know how this episode resonated with you. My DMs are always open on Instagram, and I can't wait to hear from you guys. Thank you so much for listening. I'll hope to see you back here next week. And as always, thank you so much. Subscribe if you did enjoy this and you want more of it. And we'll see you back here next week.